Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Schultze. I have been a teacher for 17 years. The last 8 years, I have been honored to be a middle school, high school teacher, and high school advisor at Wyoming Virtual Academy. In the last 4 years, I have also become a member of the Academic Services team and K-12 teacher ambassador for my school and state. Putting students first and working to engage all students has been a primary goal for me since my first year as an online teacher. I have found several key factors in engaging students, and I am very honored to share them with you today. They are by no means the only ways, but certainly tried and true ways that I have found success in engaging my students. If I was asked the primary goal I have as a teacher to engage my students, every time I would tell them building relationships is at the core. Having a school culture at Wyoming Virtual Academy where we have common and consistent language and communication has been a staple for WYVA for the last 6 years since we worked to implement the 7 habits of highly effective students in our school. We also work very hard to let students get to know us. My students often tell me that my humor, my passion comes through in Class Connect sessions, and I'm so glad they get to see the real me. I see them flourish and open up to me when they are safe and do not feel intimidated by me as their teacher. I have learned to implement the principle that students want to engage more when they see you care. When the norm for a class is that they will be able to talk more than you do, it sounds crazy, but they will truly rise to the occasion. Another aspect of building relationships for me is being organized in tracking my students. As you build a rapport with your students and families, and you meet them where they are, you will notice engagement levels rise in all formats, including phone calls, emails, and Class Connect sessions. Students will engage most when they feel they have a personal buy-in, that intrinsic motivation will want them to succeed. Allotting specific time in my schedule to build relationships has tremendously helped me in the last few years. Each Friday, I take 15 minutes to send out emails to individual students. I use creative subjects and work to show students that I see them, I believe in them, and I am proud of them. I also love using hooks in an email as a creative way to build up excitement for an upcoming Class Connect session. Attendance always seems higher in Class Connect sessions when I touch base with the students beforehand. As I look back over the last 8 years, one thing I have learned most is how important it is to get to know my students. Learning their home life and support system and building a relationship with their parents gives me great insight into students' personality and learning styles. In essence, it feels a lot like recon work as a teacher so that I know best how to guide students through engaging lessons and live sessions. Encouraging students through their work will always nurture better attendance engagement in our Class Connect sessions. My favorite thing to do is to reflect on students that I went to the trenches with. The labor of love was seeing them reach their goals. It all started with defining their dreams and goals and the barriers that are in their way to get there. Engagement is not merely getting a student to participate in class, but being their sounding board. Everyone needs a cheerleader. Am I right? I believe we as teachers have a passion for being lifelong learners. Each year, I create goals for myself to try a new engaging website, search to find better ways to use breakout rooms, and even utilize social media platforms like Twitter and blog sites. Technology can be a wonderful tool to engage our students, and I am amazed at what they often teach me. A defining moment for me in my teaching career was when I began to chart out attainable goals for engagement in my classroom. As I find a new technique or goal I see my students benefiting from, I place it in my class framework. In doing so, I can refer back to this when I'm ready to find a new creative way to engage my students in content and in curriculum. Using platforms that your students already love is another great way to engage students. 21st century students actually are already engaging and learning through digital means, and taking advantage of that as a teacher is an awesome way to relate to your students. In essence, when we listen to our students and advocate for them, we will start to see that they do have that buy-in. The culture becomes one of mutual purpose and belonging. Although data has a very strong place in educational process, I strongly believe that engagement is not always accurately represented in data. Seeing the students as individuals, creating high expectations for students gives them a sense of purpose and belonging. It is in those moments we are most impactful in a student's educational journey. And as we travel the path with students, creating challenges for students to step up as learner leaders becomes a big part of their personal development. This development takes students from passive to active learning. It begins to teach them responsibility and life skills, to lead, to evaluate, to present, and to work in group situations, and to be given individual challenges. Rigor seems to be a word we hear a lot as teachers. I believe it is because academic rigor is learned over time and through known expectations. Project presentations is one huge part of how I personally engage students to this level in my classrooms. We start by critically evaluating presentations based on a rubric before having them engage in presentations to give them a sense of knowing what to expect. Students then work at high levels to synthesize their own projects and assess one another. Through the project of building rigor, we can then watch our students excel beyond our wildest dreams. One of my proudest moments as a teacher was 2 years ago, watching my students lead at promising practices right here, sharing their project presentations and how it engaged them as students with everyone all across the nation. Showing their personalities and their lifestyle through presentations gives students a chance to socialize, to grow, to learn about each other, and to show mastery of content in new and creative ways that fully engage their student. In my parting thoughts, I just want to show a few samples of slides ideas I use on a regular basis to help engage students and give them a chance to show their personality in class with each other. Using walk-through tours for breakout rooms activities allows you to see which students are active and which ones that you can focus on for further instruction. Endless possibilities await you as a teacher. Explore, practice, evaluate with your students. Be silly with your students and have brain breaks. Be serious with your students and encourage them to learn something new. No matter what, realize your ability to impact your students. Inspiring students starts with putting them first and engaging them. We become teachers for many different reasons. But one thing we all have in common is our love for children and passion of learning. So find your inspiration each new day. You teach, so you are a hero.